Welcome, everybody. Ying Yang, the podcast, is live as promised at 11 o'clock. We are live tonight on all platforms. That includes TikTok, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and our regular studio. So you'll see us across all platforms again. Now, just a reminder to everyone, we can only see your comments if you post them in Riverside, Facebook, or TikTok. They do not pop up when we're live streaming on YouTube and Twitch because we're using a streaming software. So if you do comment on either Twitch or YouTube, we will get back to you after the fact. I keep an eye on our Facebook. Sheena keeps an eye on our Riverside, and we both keep an eye on our TikTok as we're going. So, welcome everyone. Happy Thanksgiving.
Welcome. Happy Thanksgiving.
So, of course, we are going to start with our disclosure because Thanksgiving is a controversial topic, which actually some of us on this call might not have known. So, we're going to go and dive into that a little bit tonight. But before we start, disclosure always. So, we're going to go ahead and play a disclosure for you. Now, TikTok, you may or may not be able to hear this, but we are going to play it as loud as we possibly can so that hopefully you can hear it.
Ying Yang the podcast does not own rights to any background music or noise you may hear. This podcast is completely opinion based and may include adult content, adult language, and verbiage not suitable for any underage viewers. Information found in this podcast may not contain exact accuracy as it is opinion based. Please listen at your own risk.
All right, guys. So, with that being said, we're going to walk right into our podcast. Tonight's podcast is about Thanksgiving, the past and the present.
Mm.
So, for starters, I'm just going to ask, and I'm going to ask very bluntly, Sheena, do you celebrate Thanksgiving?
Yes.
Okay, I do also. But I wanted to ask that for everyone so that they know going into this, our opinions are going to be based on people that celebrate. Um, and I will tell you, I had a very long, in depth conversation with someone who doesn't celebrate Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving. Um, and I was able to ask a lot of informative questions. So that was good. I like to educate myself because I never want to come on here and sound ignorant. However, should a time ever come that I do sound ignorant, please, whoever you are, call me out. Love it. Don't mind it at all.
Right. Constructive criticism.
Right.
Mm.
Yeah. Tell me. Tell me I'm saying something wrong. So, Thanksgiving. What do you know about like the first Thanksgiving, Sheena?
Not a thing. Well, I wouldn't say not a thing. Let me think back in school because I haven't. I mean, listen, I got a lot going on, so I don't really follow holidays and all kinds of stuff, especially history. But if I'm pulling back from my memory back in school days, I do remember something about, you know, we had a was it the right, the Indians came over and had a meal with everybody. Am I thinking right? No. Tell me
Okay,
what you
no,
think.
you
I'm on the
kind
right
of are.
plane. Kind of
You
on the
listen,
same.
and so in that knowledge, so that is the basic knowledge. When they teach us these things in school, they don't teach us all the bad that happened. They don't teach us all the negative things that happen. They teach us what they want us to hear and want us to
Right.
celebrate. So, and that's
Yeah.
what you got to remember. It's a game to the American government. It doesn't mean that I don't celebrate. It just means that I'm smart enough at the young age of 28 or 29. I don't remember what lie I told. But at the age that I am, I'm intelligent enough to realize that maybe this isn't something we should have celebrated.
Yeah. I
So,
agree from where it originated to it, I guess, blossom into a family function where,
right.
you just get
Well, and
together.
that's the biggest thing, and that's the part that I really want to kind of explain. And I say that in a defensive way because all right, so let me put it all out there. Thanksgiving. This is what I know about the first one. I know it happened in 1621, according to letters that were written.
Mm.
I know that there are around 50 colonists, and only 22 of them were either women or children. The rest were men. And that was because women and children were the first people to perish when the people on the Mayflower settled. So they got there in like 1620. The Thanksgiving happened in 1621 as a celebration for a good harvest. You know, all these good
Oh.
harvests came from the summer going into the fall. All this good food was made. All these, and the colonists and the Indians came together to have this meal so that everyone could eat. There was a Native American, and I don't, forgive me that I don't remember his name. It's just really hard to remember such intricate details. But there was an Indian who was there who more or less like interpreted for everybody because he could speak English also.
Mhm.
So now the person that I consulted with that does not participate is a Native American.
Mm.
And she explained to me that the reason her culture does not participate is because Thanksgiving was the celebration of stealing the Native Americans' land.
Oh, wow.
And I can tell you that I am not one to argue with that. I
Yeah, I don't doubt that is true.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of American culture. That's
I'm
who
about to
we
say
are.
it's still probably it's still going on today. So yeah.
It is. And I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying it's happened. But that also happened in 1621.
Hmm.
And we are now in 2023, and it has evolved into a family holiday to celebrate your family and the good harvest throughout the year. And by harvest, that doesn't mean food or money anymore. Harvest means the good love or the good health or whatever it is that your family wants to celebrate. Thanksgiving is, in my opinion, a time for everyone to come together and be in good spirits with good food and your family around to talk about everything that you've accomplished or not accomplished in that year. And I don't know about other people, but that's how I look at Thanksgiving. So when we talk about the past, I don't doubt that it happened, but there's nothing I can do now to help what happened then.
No, that's true. Can't do nothing about it now, but acknowledge that it did happen, or acknowledge that we know the heritage, or acknowledge the heritage.
And honestly, that may be the only thing Native Americans are asking for at this point, but I'm just going to be as honest as I can. And this is not meant with any disrespect or disregard whatsoever, but it's not going to happen,
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
and I say that from a place of this is the American government. We're the biggest bullies in the world. People be like, no, we're not. We are.
Look at
We get,
history
yeah, we
and
get
look at
everybody
what
business.
and bully them into what we want.
Yep. Yep. And if we don't get what we want in the end, we create a war.
Hmm.
And we'll just, borrow some more money from China to pay for it.
Right, because we have to
Which I
rule.
really don't want to get on that subject because
No.
I know if I go there, we're going to be on this thing for hours. Because I just, for the life of me, cannot figure out who agreed. Now, we our own country. We got our own printers. Why we borrowing money from other countries?
We could just print more, right?
Well, and that's kind of, I mean, I know that that's not the right way to look at things like, oh, we're at a national debt, da 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 da.
Just
But
print more money.
I don't feel like we'd be in that much debt if we quit going to war with everybody and stop minding other people's business.
Yeah, mind the business that pays you. You know, stay in your lane. If America
Right,
need to stay in their
America?
lane. We don't stay in our
See?
lane. We be in
We
everybody
don't.
else's lane
We
and
listen,
trying
America
to
is
run
like
them.
world star. Like so, like other countries be like, "Oh man, this is going horribly wrong." World star and America just shows up.
Mhm.
We're here. We're here. What's going on? What's going on? We want to be part of it. We want
Right.
to have an opinion.
Yeah. We want to take over, be in control, because
Meanwhile,
we're
half of the
superior.
people in the country that make less than $75,000 can afford Thanksgiving for their family this year.
Right.
And
Now, there's a lot of people who didn't get
I
to eat.
right, and that's the biggest thing. Like as a property manager, and I work in tax credit housing, so I see a lot. And I work with different churches. I made sure that all of my tenants had a meal. I don't play that. I'll work with churches. I'll work extra hours. I'll figure it out to make sure that every family on my sites have a meal for their family for Thanksgiving. Whatever needs to be done because that's who I am as a person. However, this year with the costs and Thanksgiving was rough, man. And it's not like we have a lot of people. I had one of my friends came up from Atlanta, and I've talked about him before on the podcast. One of my closest friends came up from Atlanta, and then I had a cousin that came down from North Carolina, and then it was me, my mom, and my partner. And Thanksgiving still cost us a few $100s.
Mhm.
And we didn't do nothing special. We didn't go all out or nothing like that.
Girl,
It
you did go
wasn't
all out. You went all the way to the grocery store. That's all
right.
out nowadays. Yes, you
And
did
that's,
too much. You
man,
went
I
to the
was
grocery
hoping,
store.
I ain't gonna lie, me and my mom had to go out and run a couple errands on Black Friday and we stopped by the grocery store and I flat asked, like, is there any Black Friday specials? And my mom was like, do not embarrass me. They don't have Black Friday specials at the grocery store.
They
I was like,
need
man, this is the
to.
place that need it. Man, I need me a good 99-cent dozen eggs this time, man.
For real. 75% off of, a
Some
ham or
meat.
something.
Right. Listen, after all them prices for Thanksgiving, like I didn't even want nothing no more. I would nah, we don't need no pumpkin pie. We don't need no mashed potatoes. We
Girl,
don't need none of that,
none of
man.
that.
Man,
Them
I
prices
remember
high.
I even told, because my mom, I grew up in an Irish household, so my mom believes in cooking. She don't play that instant stuff or that easy stuff. She want to get in the
Everything from
kitchen and cook.
scratch.
So um so I was like, man, we could even do instant potatoes. That's gonna be cheaper. My mom, was like, we ain't doing no instant potatoes. We gonna buy whole potato. Man, whole potatoes are expensive. I need some 99 cents. It's not even 99 cents for a 99 cent bag of potatoes no more. That's a dollar
Far
twenty
from
nine
it.
now.
Far from it.
Mm-hmm.
$1.25. We were at like 2.95 or 2.95. I think it was like 2.95 for that bag we brought.
Oh, y'all probably got the family. Yeah, the family size went up from the $1.49 to two something now.
Mm.
Um, but
It's
that's the point.
expensive to
Like,
eat. I'd be like, you know what? Can I afford to eat today? Maybe tomorrow.
listen, and America got the most dang holidays, man. We just put them all together. We like, ooh, it's a new month. Let's get a new holiday. What
Let's
are we
make people
doing?
spend money they ain't really got just so they can front for a holiday.
Like, it's a random one too. Like, what holidays in January? Hmm. The first day, New Year's, duh.
I was
Um, I just lost it. I was like, well, I don't even know what holidays in January. But
right. And I was like, is
then we
President's
got
Day in
Valentine's
January?
Day. Then it's what? Okay, Valentine's Day. Then St. Patrick's Day. Then Easter, and that takes us to May, which is Father's Day.
No, Mother's Day is
Um,
in May.
Mother's Day.
Yes.
Oh, you're right. Father's Day's in June, right?
Right.
Okay, so Mother's Day, and then Juneteenth and Father's
Mhm.
Day, then July 4th. Oh, we also skip Memorial Day in May. Um, and then we got July 4th. Then August is when most kids go back to school in the South, anyways. It's different in the North. Is usually September. Um, and then
Girl, they got
September, we
every month.
got
They got something going on.
Labor Day, October, Halloween, November. Yeah, every single month.
Hmm.
That's and I don't know. Do y'all not notice that this is when we all be spending money at the stores? Listen, we need to start a new thing where we all collectively, like a group of us. Like, how about Sheena, me, you? Let's get like your brothers on board, maybe your sister-in-law, where we all decide like we just not gonna buy gifts. We gonna put, that $25 we was gonna buy a gift for the person for that holiday and put it in a little fund. And at the end of the year, let's all go somewhere.
That'd be dope.
We can get a big Airbnb out on the lake or something.
Right. Instead of eating out,
I
just cut out one of your eating out meals and put that into a fund. And then at the end
Yeah,
of the year,
just
have a big family vacation.
you figure everybody put in like $400 and boom, you got a phenomenal family vacation at the end of the year, everything paid
Hmm.
for.
That's a dope idea. Do it during
That's a really good
Thanksgiving to
idea.
give thanks
We
for all
might
your family.
we might talk to people about that next year. But anyways, y'all, we're talking about Thanksgiving tonight. Ignore us. We went on a little sidetrack there about some vacation time. So
Right. We was in our own little world for a minute.
so with that being said, y'all, I'm really curious about the Native American aspect of it because I do know that we came over here, and I say we because I'm an American. I was born in this country, I was raised in this country, despite how incompetent I feel like our government is on a constant basis. It's still my country. So that's why I say we. Um, I definitely wasn't around on the Mayflower. I'm not that old. Um, I mean, I guess I could pass for like 500. We could say that. I'm 480 years old. So, um
Okay. You look good
but
for 400.
thank you, girl. It's the moisturize.
So much.
But but for real, I mean, like, I know that we came over here and we took land, and we didn't just take land. We murdered thousands of Native Americans. Thousands. We acted like this was our country and we took it.
It's a tragedy.
It is. It's beyond a tragedy. And then it was so wrong what was done to Native Americans to push them to other, they pushed most of them out towards Nevada. And it's crazy to me that they would send all of them out west and then take that land too. And so that's why, to me, I think that a lot of the pain is still there, just for, like, for instance, like with your culture, there are a lot of people that believe in your culture that there should be some kind of reprimands for things that happened to people who were slaves in the past. Um, and I understand that it's not going to happen.
I I agree there. It's
Um,
but I guess it's just like the Thanksgiving people just I guess wants them to acknowledge
right. And that's
acknowledgement
what
of
I
the
don't
heritage,
get.
acknowledgement.
That's what I don't get. Like, I get that the government's not going to do anything financial. They're going to say no matter what that they weren't the cause of it.
Or
I
they could
mean, if
just
you think
act
about it,
stop acting like it never happened.
right. And that's all that I think that both African Americans and Native Americans want.
Hmm.
And I get it. I didn't until I was a grown up, which wasn't until like 2 years ago, y'all. For real, I'm not really 400. I'm really like 26. I get younger and younger as the podcast goes on. Um, so my biggest thing is, it's not the money that everyone's. It's the acknowledgement of the situation, and I don't
Hmm.
understand why that can't happen. Like, I wasn't around for that, and I didn't know much about my culture until I got much older in life. I had to do a lot of research to find out that the people in my heritage also came over, and we came over as indentured servants, And so, what that means for Irish culture is we came over and we were handed to a person, and we had to work as a servant in that person's house until we paid off the debt of $50,000, which back then is equivalent to like a half a million now.
Dang.
So Irish culture went through the same thing, but it happened up north and it happened with all the rich people. So it was never acknowledged that it was happening. And if you didn't pay off your debt and you had children, guess who had to work for them to then pay off your debt?
Your children.
Yeah.
Mm.
So it was a cycle that, and a lot of people, you don't hear much about that, and we don't talk much about that as a culture. But the reason that we don't is, and I had to learn this just so you know, because when I first found out about this, I was angry. I was like, how could people treat people like that? You
Man,
know,
people too, we was treating people all kind of wrong ways back then.
mhm,
All kind of
mhm.
wrong ways.
If you were not European, it
Do you,
just, and what was weird to me is the North, and I don't mean weird in like a, I think it was wrong way, guys. Let me explain that. I'm speaking from a perspective of someone that came from a line of indentured servants. So if you think back to my heritage, that's where I came from. But it's weird to me that the North
hmm
spoke so badly of the South and during that time, saying all those things about, slavery is wrong. They were literally doing the same thing to Irish people at the same exact time. The only difference was if they could get to a point where they were paid off, they could then be free. But most of those numbers were unrealistic numbers.
right.
The family would come over and they would be like, okay, it's $100,000 for your family. And back then that was like $2 million. And they would be like, oh, well, how do we do that? And they're like, oh, you work for minimum wage, which back then was like $1 a week.
Something
you
small.
know, you live here in our quarters, you live in the basement, your kids live in the
hmm
basement, all y'all live in that one room, figure it out. And then
We
they
was
turn
some
around and be like,
grimy
what the South is doing is
people.
wrong. Y'all were doing the same thing. Y'all were just doing it on different standards. It was all the
Right.
same thing.
So grimy.
Yeah. And that's, I mean, but if you look at the history, it's still that today. So we're going to
It's a
get a
dog
little
eat
off
dog eat
of
world out there.
the, so, okay, I got to share the story with everybody on our podcast. When I moved to Georgia, I was here for like 2 months. And 2 months into me moving here, everybody was telling me, like, you got to be careful out in Georgia, this and that and that and this. And I live in the mountains. I don't live in the city. I don't live in Atlanta. I don't even really go down to Atlanta if I can avoid it. Um, but I live up in the mountains. But I was only here for 2 months. My mom had just literally handed me a car because I came down here with pretty much nothing. I walked away from a bad marriage. So I came down here. My mom gave me a car the day after my mother gave me this vehicle. Literally the day after my mother gave me this vehicle. I was driving back from Subway. So excited to not have a car payment anymore. So excited to have a car that was paid off. Driving, driving, boom. Y'all, I hit a dog eating another dog
Oh
in the
my
middle of the
god.
highway. And I didn't know what to do. Like I don't get in accidents. I'm a very careful driver, y'all. But apparently you just can't see dogs in the middle of the highway in the dark in the mountains. And this is a different kind of dark. I don't care what nobody tells y'all. If y'all ever come to the mountains, bring all of your flashlights because it is so dark out here. There are no road lights. It is so dark
It
all the
really
time.
is. And a light on your flashlight is not, I mean, on your cell
A
phone
phone. Yeah,
is
no, it don't do
not going to
nothing.
make a difference.
Yeah, when I first hit it, I pulled out my cell phone and was trying to look, and the officer came up to him because I called the police. I know what to do. I was like, I just hit something. He was like, "What is that?" I was like, "I don't know. I hope it's not a person." So I pulled up my phone, and all I could see was something really big run across the street, and I watched it get hit again. Now the person on the other side of the road, they were yelling, "I hit a bear!" And so then I'm talking to the officer, and I'm like, "Officer, they're saying it was a bear." And so where I'm at in Georgia, if you go 15 minutes to my right is North Carolina, 15 minutes to my left is South Carolina. And then I'm right here on the tip of Georgia. So I was in North Carolina when this happened, coming back from the subway, and the officer told me that in North Carolina they regulate bears. So if a bear was the one that caused the damage to your car, you could go after the state of North Carolina for some form of reimbursement, and they might help fix your car.
Oh.
But I'm not a liar, y'all. I'm not good at lying, especially to the police. They make me like when I see the police, I'm one of those over nervous people. Like I be telling them too much of my business. They be like, "Where you coming from?" I be like, "I just bought 3 things of eggs and a gallon of milk at the grocery store, and I was on aisle 17 for 4 minutes and 38 seconds." I get nervous.
Girl, we cannot
So
do take you nowhere.
now listen, no, like but I don't get pulled over, and that's why I get so nervous because I always, for the most part, look very professional. Oh, and if I don't look really professional, I look like I just came out of yoga class. So those are the two options you get with me. I either look really professional, yoga class, or homeless, which y'all will see eventually. That's like me with my hair messy bun, sweatpants, and a t-shirt, and may or may not have shoes on my feet.
I was
But
about
but I just those are the only modes I have. I don't know how to have other modes, so I don't get pulled over that often. So but anyways, this cop was like, that's why they're saying it's a bear. Or do you think it was a bear, ma'am? And I'm standing there, and the people are like, it was a bear. Say it was a bear. And I'm looking at this cop, and I, for the life of me, can't be like, it wasn't a bear, man. Bears don't run that fast. And I only know that because I saw a bear the week before. So
so you
I
told
was
the
just like,
truth?
man, so this is what I said. I said, listen, I can't confirm nor deny that it was a bear. But to me, it kind of looked like a German Shepherd. So maybe it was a bear, maybe it was
Maybe
a
it
German
wasn't no
Shepherd.
shepherd.
But and then the cop was like, "Well, it's a dog eat dog world." And that's why that whole story just came up in my head, y'all, because she
Because I
legit said
said,
it's a dog eat dog world. And so I had that story just popped in my head. I know it was random, had nothing to do with Thanksgiving or what we're talking about now, but
oh my
it popped
God.
in my head. But that's when I learned that out here in the mountains, you got to be real careful because like random animals be all over the place, like all the time. Like my neighbor has a goat,
A goat.
and the goat just be outside like it's normal. But it is normal down here. A lot of people have goats and pigs and chickens. When I'm at work, like we have chickens on the farm that's next to my job, and I'm a property manager. So these chickens just be walking through our apartment complex. Occasionally their pig will get loose and you'll see a bunch of people running after it through our apartment complex.
That's
Like
weird. That's like a weird setup. Because you got a apartment complex next door to a farm.
Mhm.
It's like something that's in the city next to the country, but it's like right next
That's how it
door.
is out here. Everything is just, and people just know each other. Like a pig will show up, and I'm like, "Oh man, there's a pig," and they're like, "It's okay, it's Bob's. I already called him." Y'all know whose pig it is? Like I didn't even know pigs look different until I moved out here. And out here, they don't have regular chickens. They got like weird puffy white chickens with like mohawks. And
That's the
anyways,
mountain.
y'all, yeah, it's whatever. Yeah, I don't know. You ever heard of that movie Deliverance?
I heard of it. I don't think I ever
That
watched it
movie was
though.
filmed out here. Well, I mean, don't watch it. So it's not a horrible movie. The acting in it is okay. The storyline behind it is real, but it's racist. Um,
Oh,
but that
so it's
movie
like one of
was
those
filmed
based on a true story movies.
based on here. So yeah, you should definitely watch it before you come down next time, Sheena. I'll then take you to meet the guy that plays the banjo. He works at our Walmart now. So, anyways,
What?
um,
Now I'm got to go watch it because you got me intrigued.
well, yeah, go watch it. Get back to me.
Is it like a
It's
horror movie or is gonna be like
it's
something
a horror.
really
Well,
off?
it's
It's gonna be
to
out
them
something
it's
off.
a horror movie.
Oh, it's about to be something out of pocket, ain't it?
It's a horror movie from back in the day, and it's just weird. Like it's not the kind of movies we watch these days, but it's definitely a movie if you want kind of a depiction of what life was here before it was modernized. That's definitely it. And there's still parts of this area that are like that. So,
And that's scary.
yeah, try being your brother. Anyways, Thanksgiving. So, we've talked about the past. We've kind of talked about the present. Sheena, what does Thanksgiving mean to you?
Just like a time to get together with, I'm gonna say your loved ones, like your friends and family, or people who you hold dear to you, and just celebrate life and celebrate your accomplishments and your goals and your dreams, and just give thanks um, for where you are in your life, and give thanks to God.
Okay. And what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful for the breath I have in my body, the, that I wake up every morning to keep doing what I got to do, supply my needs, supply what I need, as well as what my son needs, to make sure he got everything that he needs so he can be successful in life. And I'm just thankful for my family, people that I have that in my corner, that has my back, and I ain't gotta second guess it. So I'm just thankful for all that.
So, what's your superficial thankful thing? Like, everybody has that one thing that they're not really supposed to say that they're thankful for, but they really are.
Oh, you sound like material stuff?
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm thankful for coffee. Whoever created that dang on coffee bean,
Yes.
Lord, I am thankful for you. I owe all my sanity to you. Man, you
You
could
owe all
get
your sanity to the coffee
my
people. Oh,
man, they
that's
could get
funny.
my last quarter. I swear to God, whoever invented the coffee, you need my last quarter. Here you go. For real. I'm thankful for that cup of coffee. I need one right about now.
Listen, I get it because coffee keeps me go. It don't never fail. Y'all don't never see me on here without a coffee cup. There hasn't been one episode. Pull up any episode. I bet you I got a coffee cup in it. Probably a different one too, because I like coffee cups. They're one of my favoriteest things in the world. So, you know. Um,
You thankful for that coffee cup?
Listen, so and I kind of had to do some soul searching on Thanksgiving to think about what I was really thankful for because of course I'm thankful for my family and I'm thankful for my support system. I'm thankful that I have a job that allows me to pay my bills. And I'm thankful that I have a partner in life that accepts me for the hot mess of crazy that I am on a normal basis. Um so of course I'm thankful for those things. But then I had to kind of really dig because I'm not one of those people that ever feel like I need to go out of my way to do any one thing. Um, of course I do. I love coffee. I love coffee. I love coffee. um, but I had to think about like what has really made a difference in my life. And y'all, I know they're not always right, and I know sometimes they're a bigger headache than worth the trouble, but I am thankful for the people that go out of their way every single day to deal with the general public and help try to diagnose things that we have no idea what's going on. So, this Thanksgiving, I'm thankful for my doctors. And anyone that knows me personally knows I've been through a lot of medical issues over the last 30 years. I mean 24 years, the last 24 years. because I'm 24 now. Because we're further in the podcast, I only get younger. So I never, I always just when people come and rent an apartment, you see a property manager. That's my job. That's it. And I've always kind of correlated doctors the same way. I came to you to find out what's wrong, and that's your job. So there you go. Until my current doctor, but this my primary care that I have now is a lot different from primary cares I've had in the past because she doesn't tiptoe around things with me. She doesn't say this. She tells me like it is. Like, "Hey, you're doing great in this, but you got to tighten up on this." Or "You're doing great here, but you got to tighten up on this. And there's never a hesitation. And I don't think that there's enough moments in the world that doctors are told thank you. Not that they need it. That's not, they went to school to do this because it was their passion. They wanted to do it, but I don't think they're told thank you enough by far. Um,
No.
and I know a lot of people don't believe in going to doctors, and I'm actually, anyone that knows me and Sheena know that we have like this spiritual hippie gypsy fairy vibe to us. That's just who we are. So, but I go to, because of the medical issues I've been through in the past, am very big on my doctors. Um, and I know that Sheena has a regular doctor that she goes to too. So, and me and her actually just were talking about, we weren't talking about the podcast earlier, we were talking about insurance earlier. And we were talking about how our biggest thing with insurance is we never want to have to leave our primary care doctors. Like, if my insurance changed, if my company switched out for a different company and they didn't cover my doctor anymore, I I might pay
I'll
out of
fall
pocket to go
out.
see my doctor. Yeah, like this is because it's like, no, that's my doctor. That's, man, that's my girl. That's, I don't want to talk to nobody else. She
Hmm.
knows all my business already.
I don't want to have to
So
go find somebody new that I have to entrust with all my business. No.
right, right. So for me, the thankfulness this year comes for doctors, and it comes for people that have to work in these very stressful, inflated situations. Black Friday, when I went out, I didn't go to many places. We only hit like 3 or 4 places, and we weren't going Black Friday shopping. We're actually doing like regular shopping that we should have just done before Black Friday. um,
You wanted to be in
but
them crowds.
listen, it was so much. We needed to get stuff. We're going on a cruise. But I needed to get some last minute stuff for the cruise from a certain store, and the only day I was gonna have time to do it was gonna be Friday because I work all week next week. So I had to go get this certain soap. And so we had to go into all these crowds. So,
Mm.
but the way that I saw employees treated that day made me hate Americans. Man, I hate y'all. All of y'all. Y'all are
This
so rude.
disrespectful.
Yes, and obnoxious. And you feel like people owe you something. Like, these people are out here busting their butt for $14 an hour
Girl, that's
for
retail
you to
for
be
you.
happy. And
That's
I can't, it's
retail.
despicable.
Yeah, everybody look down on retail workers like they are superior to them.
Listen, if all the retail workers quit tomorrow, all y'all would be screwed.
Real screwed.
Yeah, and that's what people don't realize. Like, these retail workers keep us going. You're not gonna have no shoes, no clothes, no hats, no makeup, no nothing.
You ain't
Not
gonna
without the
have
retail
nothing in that
workers.
store to run through that little self checkout.
You're not even gonna be able to talk on your phone because you were so rude to the retail workers that they quit. That everybody at Verizon or AT&T quit.
Mm-hmm. You ain't gonna have nothing to
You
help,
know,
nothing. Going through
and they
life with
don't.
no customer service.
And you don't have to be uber nice, but you don't got to be rude either. Like, you can
Mhm.
just be like, yes, no, okay.
Just
But
treat
you don't have
people
to be
like you want to be
yelling.
treated. Yeah, if
Listen, and
everybody just treat everybody like you want to be treated, and everything
this
will go
is the only
smoothly.
warning I'm giving to everybody for the entire holiday season. Don't let me catch you being rude to somebody inside that store around Christmas time, because I'm going to say something to you. I'm going to be that person. I'm going to pull out my camera, I'm going to record you, and I'm going to say something to you. I'm straight be there when they in there like, let me talk to your manager. I'm like, ma'am, let me talk to your manager. Where your husband at? Where your family at? Oh, you running the show by yourself? Good, good. Because I'm about to hurt your feelings. And it's crazy to me because you'll see it, and then those same people will go home to their Wendy's job and feel like they're above somebody. That makes no sense. No sense whatsoever.
Mhm.
But anyways, so I am thankful for all the people that feel like they're not essential workers that are really essential workers that help keep the base of this country going. Without these retail shops and stuff like that here in my city, we wouldn't be a city. We wouldn't be known at all, because
Mhm.
that's all it is here is more or less the tourists coming to buy. So
So y'all need y'all retail workers.
yeah. I mean, because yeah, and there's a really sad part in this area, just to put it out there, is our retail workers don't make enough money to live in the area.
Mm.
A lot of our retail workers have to drive in like 40 minutes to be able to work in this area because it's so expensive to live here, um, that you can't. And I say it's so expensive to live here, but the prices here are just expensive to the people here. It doesn't match what you make. You can't live in a house over here on $14 an hour. It's honestly impossible. So out in this area, that's just kind of how it is.
Mm.
Um, so
So what's your superficial thankful?
so like my random item that I'm thankful for.
Yeah.
All right, I kind of want to show it to y'all, but it's not plugged in yet. But I got it today, and it's called the Whoop. And so a week ago, if you'd asked me what I'm thankful for and we had this conversation, I would tell you this. This is my Fitbit. Um, so I know a lot of people know what a Fitbit is. Most people just use it to count their steps. I use it to regulate my heart rate, make sure that my heart's not going crazy. I also use it to regulate um, my resting heart rate's high right now. It's probably because I'm excited. But I
Mhm.
also use it because it does this sleep thing where it tells you that how long you slept the night before. And for me, that's a very important number because it measures how much energy I will have for that day. Um, but the Whoop is a watch a bracelet. They don't call it a watch, they call it a bracelet because it doesn't tell you the time. So I'm not going to get the time off of it. But that's okay. I don't really everybody uses their cell phones for the time. I'll be wearing this and still check my cell phone for the time. So the Whoop tells you at what point you need to rest. So if I'm going through my day and let's say I wake up at 4. So people that know me know I try really hard to go to bed at the same time every night. It never works, but I try really hard. Um, but sometimes I don't fall asleep till 1 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes I fall asleep immediately. I typically don't sleep longer than 5 hours. Never have been, never have. I don't know if I ever will. Either way, thank you very much, Josh. Josh is liking the live on TikTok.
Hey
Um,
Josh.
so one of the biggest things for me was, yeah, okay, I wake up at 5 a.m. and then I start my day. But those that also know me know that if I start my day at 5 a.m., I'm probably going to be at work by 7. I'm probably
Mhm.
going to work till about 7 or 8 at night. Then I'm going to eat dinner, do everything I need to do in the evening, and go to bed. And so I'm up that entire time. So I only got that 5 hours of rest. But I actually need a lot more rest than that. Um, and with the things that I'm going through, I need to be able to sleep whenever I need that rest. It's the only way I'll be able to keep going without creating a physical issue for myself. So this Whoop bracelet will literally kind of like count down. Like it'll be like, okay, your heart rate's changing, your energy levels are changing, your steps are getting slower. Hey, man, you need a nap, you need rest. And this whoop bracelet that they've created has been created for situations like that where we need to make sure that, um, thank you, Josh. We're already up to 350 likes. Um,
Woohoo.
so sorry, back to the whoop bracelet. So it's more or less a bracelet that tells you when you need the proper amount of rest and what you need to do to get it. You know, whether you need to take a nap or whether you need to slow down if your heart rate's too fast. So more or less it's a medical bracelet that helps track a lot more health in detail.
Gotcha.
So it was something that was highly recommended by my doctors. So I went ahead and got it. Um, with the help of my best friend I know. I just wanted to give her a little quick side shout out right there. So thank you, Sheena, for dancing for I know. Um, so it's so if I had to say I was thankful for any physical thing, it would probably be that. Um, I I know everyone here hates to hear this. I would have said coffee too, but I'm actually in a love hate relationship with coffee because
What?
three
How can
weeks
you
from
hate
now,
coffee?
3 weeks from now, I might have to give it up.
Oh no.
Unless I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna ask if I can stay on the mushroom coffee. I just don't know if I can stay on regular coffee. Um,
Um,
but
I still gotta order me some of that mushroom
so
coffee.
if y'all see me on here with my lashes glued on upside down and
You ain't had your
um
coffee in a while.
and my hair's not looking in place or something like that, just ignore me. Just ignore me. I'm weaning myself off coffee a little bit. So if I don't have no coffee that day, we'll see how it turns out. We'll see if I'm cute
You
that
know
night or
what?
not.
I'll drink a cup for you. I'm be like, this is in honor of my girl Amanda. I'm gonna drink this
Unless you
coffee.
know how to transfer that caffeine into my bloodstream.
No, I don't think I know how to do that.
So, what is the one thing? This is just a random question I just kind of thought of. What is the one thing that you wish that you would have been more grateful for when you were a child?
Oh.
That was a hard one, right? Because I don't even know my answer yet, but I asked the question.
Wow. Okay, you're gonna make me think tonight.
I know I got to think too.
So, what was I thankful for as a
What were
child?
you, no, what do you regret not being more grateful for?
Oh,
Like now that
th-
you're an adult, because as a kid, everything was superficial. Like, oh
yeah.
no, I'm not thankful for Thanksgiving. They didn't even make chocolate pie.
I
What?
was. I would say the fact that I didn't have to pay any bills or had
Girl.
any like real responsibilities. I would shoot staying in the child place a lot longer than I was trying to get out of.
Yeah, but I mean, you were a female, and I mean, we might have been 80 babies, but we grew up in the 90s. We were too young in the 80s to be growing up. You know what I mean? So we grew
Mhm.
up in the 90s. Growing up in the 90s, we all grew up fast, man.
What?
It was just I don't know what happened. It's like when we was in the 80s, Paula Abdul was like, everybody be grown, and then we hit the 90s and all of us was grown. We was all like Janet Jackson, Montel Jordan in it up, and people were like, why is she so grown? And I'm like, do you know what we listen to? Like, have you heard our music?
Right. We was like 8 listening to Color Me Bad.
Man, genuine.
I remember when Color
I
Me
was like
Bad
10
was
years
came
old
out.
singing Pony at the bus stop.
Oh God, yes. Think I was like what, like 5 or 6 in the car with my mom talking about, ooh, I want to sex you up, all the kind of stuff.
Listen, I remember throwing a fit and being mad at my mother in elementary school, flipping out. I was like 9, flipping out on her because I wanted to be in the talent show. And back then, that's before I grew up and ruined my voice and my singing. But when I was young, I used to sing. Me and my little sister had our little group or whatever. So I wanted to be in a talent show so bad. And she was like, okay, well, what song you want to sing? And she was like, come sing it for me. Cause you know, my mom was a realist. She didn't want me to embarrass myself. So she was like, come
Mhm.
sing it for me. Girl, please tell me why at 9 years old I wanted to sing As We Lay in the school talent show.
No.
I sure did. My mom was like, you cannot sing that song. And I was like, why not? You hate me. You don't want me to have no friends.
Not as we lay. Okay, let's talk about that song
Ugh.
for a minute, because since you opened up the door,
Okay.
why did you want to sing? First of all, I want to know, why did you pick that song?
First off, I need y'all to know that as a 9 year old, I didn't understand lyrics. I just knew I sounded good singing them.
Okay, I can get that. I can get that because
So I didn't understand. That
the
was a good
melodies
song, you
hit.
know. It
Yeah,
was,
that was a good
and
song for a
and that
talent show.
that was a good
But
song for range too. And I had
right,
range. I had
right.
different range. So, but
Okay.
that's out. So I wanted to sing that one, or I wanted to sing and she was gonna let me do this one, but my little sister couldn't be in a talent show with me, and I needed my little sister for backup to do "Escape the Arms of the One Who Loves You." And so, because both of them had good range, but with "Escape," you need the backup singer because there's four people in that group.
Sure.
Where it was "As We Lay," there was only one person, so I didn't need no backup.
But what do you think at 9 year old? What did you think the song was about?
I don't know, girl. I probably didn't know it all. Honestly, like back then, I didn't know what the pony song meant. I didn't. I was not. I don't want to say I was not as smart as I thought I was, but I don't think I cared what the lyrics were as long as I could see them, could sing them. Because I remember like
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
also the day and
me.
age when we would sit around and wait. We would have to record stuff off of the radio. So you would
Your
like
cassette
you would hit
tape
record and then you have to pause it for the commercials
commercials.
and then record the next song.
I used to just record music because I used to like the music, like the beat, like how the flow was, the voice, the singer, the artist, how it sound over the beat. I was just like you. I didn't really know what the lyrics was about. I just knew that it sounded good. I vibe to it, and if I know I didn't know how to sing, but I thought I could sing right along with them.
Oh girl, me too. Listen, I swore I was like I'm going to grow up and I'm going to be a white girl R&B singer and
Girl, you
everybody's going to love
couldn't
me.
tell me that I wasn't a part of Drew Hill. You remember Drew Hill Into the Drew album came out? I knew that whole album by heart. In my room doing the whole concert. I was in the Drew Hill concert. The whole
Girl, I
girl. You couldn't tell me I
I
wasn't
used
part of that group.
so there's a group called the Dixie Chicks. It's a country group. You're to this day riding in the car. If I turn on Dixie Chicks, I'm gonna put on a whole concert for every car around me, and I'm not gonna care whatsoever. I'm gonna do it big. I'm gonna be loud. I'm gonna be obnoxious. I'm gonna be all goodbye Earl
Clara,
all the way down the highway.
girl, some
Oh,
good music, catch a vibe.
but that's okay. So that's because that's what we grew up in. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
I can tell you, I agree with you with what I took for granted. You know, I should have been more grateful, especially during Thanksgiving time, for the time with my family growing up. I should have been more grateful for being a kid.
Hmm.
Cause man,
Having
I rushed
fun,
to grow up.
just yeah. Me having to grow up so fast and getting exposed to different things I probably shouldn't have at an early age, and just spent longer time just being a kid doing kid stuff.
Well, and I so let me ask you this: what materialistic thing were you most grateful for as a child? Like, what was that
Material.
one item as a kid that everyone knew you was gonna have because you just loved that item? That was your item.
I don't think I ever had one item like that.
You didn't have a safety item at all, even like through your teenage years with school, like a book
My note,
bag or a certain hoodie,
mm, my
your
notebooks,
notebook.
my journals, because I used to like to write. Like that was my escape. So I used
Well,
to
yeah,
keep
that's a
in
safety
journal.
item.
Hmm.
I and I can understand that. I didn't take my journals to school because I did one time. In seventh grade, I took all my poetry to school, and a girl stole it.
No,
Hmm.
or we would have been fighting.
She stole it, and she never came back to that school. Like she was like, "Can I read your poetry?" And I guess that was her last day of the school, but I didn't know that. And I was dumb, and I let her hold it, and I never got it back. Um,
Did you have a backup?
no, no, those were poems I just lost. They're just out there in the world someday. So listen, if somebody ever meets a girl named Keisha and she has some poems that sound like an 8-year-old wrote them, they're mine.
Not the
Tell her to give them
8-year-old.
back. um, but yeah, I mean that's I was writing since I was real young, so that's.
Yeah, me too.
But see, I didn't. But I never took my journals to school. I'm trying to think. Like,
Pens. I used to love. I still addicted to pens. Like I
listen,
had to have good pens, and then like there was like pens I fell in love with. You remember these pens?
these pens. Oh,
Yeah,
I
I like
remember
those.
those. I
Girl,
got
I
gel
still write with
pens.
these pens nowadays. Girl, I used
I
to have
still
to
write
have
with
one.
glitter gel pens, girl. All day, all day. I can't help it. But
Girl.
so I'm trying to think though, like, so let me say this. I High school for me was really, really rough. I
Yeah.
wasn't in like regular classes. I was in something called the STAR program, where I was off site sometimes. I went through a lot in high school. I was on a 504 plan for an IEP. For people that don't know what that is, it's a special plan for people that have any kind of disorder that can keep them out of school. I have social phobia, which is an anxiety disorder, the fear of embarrassment. So um I wasn't in regular classing. I wasn't in regular classing because that made sense. I wasn't in regular classes.
The new word of the night.
I just be making up stuff. I've been doing this all day, man. I don't know what's
That's what
going
I
on.
said. That's the new word of the
Um,
night. Just keep, we gonna keep it going.
so in classing, I was but I will say that part of my IEP, like my individual whatever, I forgot what it's called. It's an individual education plan, IEP. Yep. So part of my IEP is they let me carry a pillow to school.
Mm,
And anytime things got too overwhelming, I was just allowed to go somewhere and take a nap, which is funny because I really feel like they should offer me that as an adult. Like
right.
anytime I just get overwhelmed, I should just be able to get my pillow and go take a nap somewhere. Um, but they don't offer that as an adult for some reason in the workplace. I should definitely reach out to my company about that. I tell them I
Mhm.
want an IEP for work, an individual. So I need an IWP, an individual workplace plan. Um, so, but that's so. I guess honestly, it was probably like my pillow, and it wasn't like I didn't ever take an actual pillow. I had like a hoodie that I would take and roll up and use. But I can't really think of anything else. I wasn't. I never had that one item that everyone just knew I was gonna have. I am. I didn't really have a lot of friends either, so
Me neither. I always kept to myself.
unless hoop earrings, unless that's an option. I've been wearing these bad boys since like 1991.
Mhm.
I was like, I say 19. I was 6 years old. Yo, I was not
Mm.
wearing hoops at 6 years old.
I love hoops.
um. So I mean, but back then I don't want to say I was superficial as a child, but I was spoiled.
Yeah,
So
I wasn't that superficial. Like I didn't, cause we didn't have a lot, so I wasn't hung up on nothing. Um, yeah, I wasn't hung up on like having items, cause I knew that we didn't have a lot, or we wasn't. I didn't expect a lot if we did
see,
get
that's
stuff.
kind of weird
So
because I feel like I had the same opinion. Like I didn't expect a lot, but and not to say that my mother had bukus of money or anything like that, y'all. She did. But my mom went above and beyond every single year to make sure that we all had a good Christmas. You know what I mean? And she went above and beyond every Thanksgiving to make sure that the entire table was full and that anyone we knew that didn't have a house to go to could come to our house. We always knew that we could invite whoever and they could come have dinner with us. So not that I ever expected anything from them, but there was never a time that we didn't just receive either, you know? So it's funny because I feel like I had the same opinion as you in a different situation, which then also goes to show that, okay, so it goes to show that it's not people from the same, more or less, income brackets. It's the way you raise your children that creates their mindset. You know, my mother never raised us to be like, oh, you have this or you have that. We didn't have a lot. Man, I remember living in a two-bedroom apartment, sharing a room with both my sisters, you know, and we made it work. We had a bunk bed, and two people slept on the bottom, one person slept on the top. That's just how it worked, you know. So I remember growing up like that. It's not like we had a lot, but we also, my mom always made sure that we had whatever it is, more or less, that we wanted that year for Christmas. And it wasn't like big stuff. We didn't ask for like cars. We asked for like Furbies because when we grew up in the 90s, we played outside. So we didn't need tablets and cell phones. And we were like, hey, can I get a jump rope? Hey, can I get a skip it?
Hmm.
You
Something to
know,
get
and
us
those were,
outside and moving.
yeah,
Anything that
those
we
were
could
like
use
$10
outside.
items.
Yes.
You know, so it was a different world back then than it is
You
now, though.
couldn't. You couldn't. We hated to be in the house. Like nowadays, kids they don't want to go outside. Like they can be confined all day to their room and be a okay. Growing
And to be
up, like
104 degrees and they be in hoodies. They're like built
man,
different, man.
I would have lost my freaking mind if you told me I was confined to my room and I couldn't come out and go
It's
outside.
it was a different world back then. You know, back when you and I were growing up, people played outside. You drank water from the water hose and it wasn't contaminated and it wasn't going to kill you.
You.
And and you rolled around in the grass and you made fun of the neighbors and you know, we didn't do all this, oh,
You
I'm
ate
going to,
popsicles.
and you didn't cyberbully. Man, if you were trying to be a bully when we were growing up, you got beat up at the bus stop by everybody.
Right.
You know, everybody watched each other's back. Your friends, you knew where your friends were at because all their
Mhm.
bicycles were outside of one person's house.
The good old days.
You
Man,
know,
growing
now
up in
these
the
kids,
'90s, man, the '90s was
that
like
was the best generation.
the best
It
time,
was.
the
It was.
best
It was the
era. It was the best for
and
everything. Best time for growing up. Best time for music, R&B, hip hop, all kinds of music. I
and
don't know what it is
people will say
nowadays.
no it wasn't, but we were the beginning of the technological era. We introduced technology to the world. You know, we were the ones that experienced it, said how to create it better. You know, we were the ones that were able to do all those things and make it work right. And people are like, oh, da da da, that wasn't your. No, it was definitely. I remember being 13 years old and playing Oregon Trail in Carmen, San Diego on
Mhm.
our parents' first computer. And the computer itself was huge. And the
Yes.
monitor was like the size of a tablet.
Girl, I used to love going to computer class so I could play Oregon Trail.
Girl, I hated Oregon. I always died. It wouldn't make no sense. It would be like, your entire wagon froze overnight and with no food. You all have perished. You must start again. I hated Oregon Trail.
I
I loved
love
Carmen
that
San Diego
game.
though.
Oh, I
Carmen San
love.
Diego was
I
my
didn't
game.
like
Carmen
that.
San
I didn't like
See,
that game.
she was always in
Oregon
Mount
Trail.
Rushmore.
Yeah, Oregon Trail was my game. I loved Oregon Trail.
Mm.
That must have been like the game for every computer class, because like everybody know who what Oregon Trail is. If you grew up in the 90s, you knew what Oregon Trail was.
Listen, I used to love computer class because there would be like one day a week that they would let you do whatever. Like you had to learn how to
Mhm.
type. So they would like put this little thing over your fingers and let you not see when you was typing. It'd be like this little
Mhm.
piece of paper. Um, but then one day a week you get to play games or whatever. And
Mhm.
so you go in there like every Friday or whatever, you get to play Oregon Trail all day or whatever
Right.
else.
I
I
love them
used to use the
days.
little paint option. I used to try to make little pictures with the paint to make a
Paint.
book cover or something.
I remember
I don't
that.
even
Yeah, I
think it
used
was
to
called
rush.
paint when it first came out.
Girl, no days we used to rush to class. I could be the first one to grab the Oregon Trail because you know they only had about two, three of them, so you had
Yep.
to take turns. I wanted to be the first one. Then if I couldn't get on Oregon Trail, I would just go to the paint and
Yep.
start doodling and stuff. Look
See,
how we
those are the
remembering
good
this, and
days.
yes, that's when life made sense.
Yeah, that's so when we didn't have to spend $800 on groceries.
Right.
Um,
Sell a kidney to lead to live and keep the lights
wait,
on.
wait. Do you know secret? She know who's buying kidneys.
Oh, I don't know. The
I gotta
aliens.
pay rent next month, man.
For
You
real.
just let me know who I send that picture to, okay?
We-
I'm about to start me an OnlyFeed account. Is that what it's called? OnlyFeed or
Only
something?
feet, only fans.
No, I meant like where you sell the feet pics.
Oh, I don't know.
Me either.
Eh,
We gotta. If
How much?
anybody knows, y'all reach out to me and
Put
let
us
me know where I
on.
sell the feet
Right,
pics.
right. We can
Only
take some
feet,
feet
right?
pic.
I'm gonna
Yeah, that's
start. I'm
all.
gonna start me and my. I'm gonna start my own. Y'all. I'm gonna start an Only Feet. Y'all sign up for
Oh,
mine.
don't follow her. Huh?
Just let's say we gonna make it cool too. Like you can only do left feet. All right, so it's gonna be an all left foot only feet. All
And
right,
gonna make
y'all.
money. How much you gonna charge for them pictures?
Y'all can charge whatever you want. I want 10% off the top. Y'all good?
But that's some crazy. It's some crazy ways you can people make money nowadays.
Listen, yes, there's a girl, and y'all, I know that we're going over. We promise we're wrapping it up. But I was reading an article about this girl that she sits on live like this, like but on TikTok or on YouTube, and she eats.
Oh
She
yeah, I
eats
remember
like
seeing that.
chicken and
Yeah.
cookies and people send her money for that. And all I can think is like, dang, 10 years ago, I could have made that work. 10 years ago, I could have sat in front of you and ate all day long and been great at it.
Mhm.
I not good at it now. I can't eat
It's some
anything anymore.
no. It's
Um
it's it's crazy what people.
unless are any of y'all into people eating celery? Because if so,
I like
I'm going to
celery.
also start an only celery account.
When you just sitting there and eat celery.
Yes, like it's crunchy and it's healthy and it's full of water and nutrients for your skin. Come on, y'all. Only celery? Nobody?
Oh,
Okay.
we should just start a live where we just tell like crazy knock knock jokes, and we can just blow up and get paid. The cr-
Or we could do a dad jokes one. I'm pretty good at dad jokes. I'm not really good at knock knock jokes. I only know one knock knock joke. You probably know
I
knock
don't know
knock.
any.
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Orange.
Orange who?
Knock knock.
Knock knock.
You can't say knock knock. You got to say who's there.
Oh, who's there?
Orange.
Orange.
Sheena, you're not very good at knock knock jokes, man. You supposed to say orange who?
Orange who?
Knock knock.
Who's there?
Banana.
Banana who?
Listen, and I just did the whole joke backwards, just so you know. You supposed to say banana twice. And then the third time you supposed to say orange. And when they say orange, who used to say orange, you're glad I didn't say banana. And I just did the whole joke backwards. And not one of y'all stopped me. Not one of y'all. Not on Facebook, not on YouTube, not on Twitch, not on TikTok, and then none of y'all say nothing. All
And my
y'all
dumb
sit
ass
here
is following
watching
you
me.
up. Like, what kind of knock knock joke is this? This is not how I remember knock knock jokes.
All y'all just sitting there watching me be dumb. I appreciate it,
And
y'all.
you talking about
It's
I don't
nice
know
to
how to
know.
do knock knock jokes, and I was like, okay, maybe I forgot how to do
I
knock knock jokes.
I told you I don't know how to do. I said I only know one knock knock joke, and apparently I know it wrong. So y'all don't follow. I don't know no knock knock jokes.
Well, we'll stick to the dad jokes. We'll stick to
We
the
gonna
dad
have to,
jokes.
man. I'm about to quit being a comedian today. I'm gonna just have to
Listen,
stop. And I'm listen. I'm really good with stand up usually, but my brain's not working right the
yo,
last like two
we
weeks.
can really do that. We should just do a live of jokes and tell us jokes that we
Listen,
mess up and just girl, people
I'm
selling
in.
their feet and making money or sitting in front of people eating and blowing out. We can sit and tell jokes and blow up.
I'm in. I'm so in, y'all. In fact, we gonna start tomorrow. Who wants to do a knock knock joke competition tomorrow at 2?
Right. Everybody
Anybody
going
got some good
see
knock knock jokes?
tomorrow Google gonna go up and knock knock searches. Cause
And you know what,
everybody
y'all?
gonna be
This is
searching
actually
knock knock
reminding me
jokes.
of something.
What's
We
that?
are on our last week of our contest.
Oh,
So while we're
yes.
right here,
I'm gonna
I,
show everybody to watch again.
yep, I'm gonna pull this out. Now there is one person that has been going really above and beyond, and I think they know who they are. But we got this watch. That's for TikTok to see well. I'm gonna bring it down here. Try to let Riverside, Facebook. This watch, all you have to do to be entered into the drawing for this watch, and again, we will get it to you within the first week of December, so that you can use it as a gift if you want to for the holidays. All you have to do is make sure that you like our page, that you share us with your friends, that you comment on different items, or you share our lives. It's not really hard to do. And also, if you at any point have purchased a virtual coffee for us, it automatically puts 5 draws into our drawing at the end. So for every like, you get every like that you put on something, you get a name draw. Your name goes into the pot. So if you go on and you like 3,000 items of ours, guess what? You get 3,000 names in the jar. So it's really cool the way that we do it. And we're just doing it to, of course, get our name out there a little bit more. But we will announce the winner of that. Sorry, on next week's live. So y'all just take some time this week and try to bring out some more friends to get on here so that they can work with us next week. Next week is our final current events for the year. So
Okay.
that'll be a fun one. Um, and then if anybody has any questions, if they want to reach out, if we said anything about Thanksgiving that you found offensive, please reach out to us, let us know because we'd be more than happy to clear the air or to go ahead and put out anything that you say that we have said wrong. We would love to hear it. So again, we will see y'all next week, but for now, we're two people,
Two
two
opinions,
opinions,
real talk.
real talk. Y'all have a good night.